So my morning Jackson, right? My morning Jackson, my morning jacket.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. It is the first video of 2023. But before we start talking about new music, we are going to take one more quick look back at the channel last year, 2022. A lot happened. We covered, I think, 50-ish artists, maybe 40 something like that. A lot of videos that weren't listographies, some interesting side threes and extra videos, and started doing some different stuff near the end of the year. So yeah, it was quite a year. I think we added like 4,300 subscribers, if my calculations are correct. So not bad. What'd you guys think of the year?
As far as music goes, I thought personally for me it was a great year. I probably went to more concerts this year than I have in like 10 years or so. Saw some really memorable stuff. Saw my morning Jackson, right? My morning Jackson, my morning jacket, right on like the lake in Chicago. That was awesome. Went to a lot of festivals, got to see the tour with Sharon Van Etten, Julian Baker, and Angel Olsen and stuff. So there was a lot of really good moments for me musically. I personally acquired like two more guitars and just had a great time music wise. For the channel, I thought my favorite things about the channel were getting into some of the more cool, weird, alternative stuff that I didn't really know that much about, like Bebop Deluxe and the Stranglers, and that whole kind of like summer where we were really getting into some of the more obscure stuff that some of our diehard fans was really special to me. And then my personal favorite thing, addition to the channel, is the game show that me and Jason used to always play. Getting that set list drafted in there, I just love doing because it's fun. Get to talk about more bands that we already covered a little bit. Be playful. I feel thankful for that.
2022 was a good year for new music. The albums that came out in 2022 that I listened to, all 200 or so of them. I started collecting vinyl for like the first time. I got my first vinyls in 2022. Got a vinyl record player, turntable. I believe you kids are calling them that these days. I got my little room set up in my basement so I can actually listen to things, and that's cool. Had a lot of fun buying vinyls and going on Rate Your Music and rating things and adding to my collection, all that cool stuff. As for the channel goes, I thought it was a pretty good year for us. I was happy with the growth and everything, and yeah, it's fun. It's more about the fun than, crunching the numbers and looking and making sure, oh, we're falling behind on our new subscribers. We gotta pump out more videos. Although we did talk about that a lot. But covering Gene Clark and Stephen Wonder, Miley Cyrus, big names for me. Knock them off my bucket list. So real solid year, I think. And then getting the new stuff like Prefab Sprout and X, Stranglers, Pulp, really getting to dive into some of these bands that, I kind of knew a little bit about and maybe had heard a couple songs, but for the most part were, unaware of how deep a lot of these discographies went. So a lot of fun doing that with you boys.
For me, I hardly went to any shows this year. I moved, so that kind of took up a lot of my time and money, but put a lot of time into the channel. We had some big changes. We should mention that prior to this past year, we were Listography. We changed the name of the channel. The rebranding went smoothly. We didn't lose a ton of viewers, it didn't seem, because of the name change. And then the other huge thing that went along with that was launching the Patreon and the Discord, and that was a huge part of my year. And that was the most fun thing for me. It was just like being able to listen to something and then immediately be able to like talk to people about it was a lot of fun. And basically was my whole mission with starting the channel, was like, I want to talk to people about music again. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Enjoyed some of the deep dive years that we started doing, 72 and 82. Probably some of my favorite stuff we did this year. Really enjoying that. Can't wait to hit a bunch more years and really get a good picture of like my favorite albums ever from different eras. In my mind, I've had a list going and running, and I know what my favorite albums are, but to really have a complete look at it and see like, is that actually correct? Is a lot of fun. We had some guests on the channel this year, the Colonel early in the year, and then Michael Ralt came on. We started the year in our Songs of the Year series in 1985, so we went all the way through the rest of those episodes. We had a March Badness tournament in which Ooh by Jimmy Fallon and will.i.am was declared the worst song of all time. We did one and only one so far, Listo Junior Week. So maybe some more of those coming up where we tackle discographies with fewer than 5 records. We had our month takeovers, January, Jaskis, and Cramtober, probably the last we'll ever see of that now that we're down to only 2 listographies a month. We hit 10,000 subscribers. We did those 10K videos on our least favorite and favorite artists we've covered. So a lot has happened on the channel. It's been a fun year, but I guess we should get down to the nitty gritty here quickly. Some of the worst takes of our fellow hosts.
One last big change to the channel that we didn't mention, and this was pretty contentious. We changed the opening theme song, of course, and that's probably the biggest thing that's ever happened on this channel. I still get comments to this day about, although I haven't seen one in a while, about bringing back the old one, but you know, every video it seemed like, oh, I hate the new song, but I love it. I love the smooth yacht rock of the theme song.
Yeah, I think all 3 of us are on board with it. A lot of people really hate it. Maybe though, we'll see. Maybe 2023 will be the year that we finally put together an original theme. Could be.
We should just each write the theme song to the show that we edit and then just put it on there, so we each have our individual little touch.
All will be completely different genres.
I would like to have like write a 10-second like jingle, just like the melody of the theme, and then have it in like record it in every genre so that whatever artist we're covering, that can be the matching theme.
Kind of like that idea a lot. We're doing best takes, I guess, best and worst takes. I guess we can do that. And then I had an idea that maybe we should just each collectively go around and pick what we thought our best episode was as like a best picture award winner for whatever. But worst thing about Jason this year, we're going Festivus right now. How Jason disappointed me. Still not willing to like just bite his lip, and I know I'm guilty with this with like the old 60s stuff and some of the more country stuff, but you know, we got to cover some of these major pop artists, Miley Cyrus, Madonna. Like you got to get in on some of this sometime. Lady Gaga. People want to know what you have to say. So I wasn't really crazy about you sitting out Miley Cyrus. But my favorite Jason moment was him giving me praise. So it's all about me. Coming around to seeing how awesome of a song Save It for Later was, when I didn't think that had a shot. When you kind of threw it out there as one of my best takes. It's always nice when we see eye to eye. And then for Joe's best take, worst take, probably just, I don't know. Joe came a long way this year. Like, he's still fighting his inner demons, not wanting to get in with the indie crowd and ripping on Pitchfork, but he finds himself liking it more and more and more. Joe's most head scratching take for me is just his descriptors for the new Black Country Road album, saying it's like emo and Dave Matthews mashup, and I literally just think I'm hearing a different record. But Joe's best moments this year, coming around to stuff I thought he would absolutely hate, like Prefab Sprout and B-Box Deluxe and stuff like that, and really getting into it, like digging it a good bit. Not getting into Bare Trees as a head scratcher, considering me and Jason fell in love with it, but still pretty cool. And kind of failing to see the genius of Tom Waits' weird 80s stuff, experimental stuff, bothered me a little bit. But, you know, I will say my favorite thing maybe Joe rubbing off on me, and I'm getting a little more into metal and listening to it too more often, and that's pretty much straight from Joe because it's a mindset, baby, and I'm getting into it. But neither of you really disappoint me ever. I love you both, and we're all wearing like a kind of shade of brown gray right now, which is cool.
So Joe actually did not like Bebop Deluxe. I think you're mixing that up
Well,
a little.
so,
You meant
well,
Cocteau Twins, I think. Cocteau Twins was the good.
yeah. Love it.
Yeah, no, please do not ever associate me and Bebop Deluxe in a positive way.
That's right. Cocteau Twins you listen to, and then we're immediately like, well, I got to rethink this year.
Yes.
Which I love that boyish gut instinct you get when you hear a new album. You're like, well, this is the best thing of the year it came out with, no doubt, automatically.
All right, I'll go next. Let's start with Cramser. Couple negatives, not a whole lot. Skipping Gene Clark personally hurt me. Not happy with that decision. The Monkeys' Hatred I thought was a little overboard, just a little overboard, a tiny bit, a little bit. That one reminded me of me a little bit too much. I think of just like hating something and not giving it a fair shot. But it's not something I do as much anymore. But still, the Monkeys hate. I don't know. Maybe it's the '60s thing, but um, I thought they were good. I was happy to do the Monkeys. Not happy with your take on them, and then the whole like Palomino first aid kit. I'm just never gonna get that one. I thought that was very odd. And your whole like rating scale still confuses and terrifies me. Best, definitely your love for JP, Judas Priest. I was very happy to see you like them. I did not think you were going to like them at all. I thought you were going to just shred them, but nice to see you coming around on that one. And I mean, there wasn't really any true horrible takes, I don't think, by you this year. Nothing that really stood out. Although Cramtober could have been a little bit better. It wasn't great. Husker Du. I thought you were going to be a little stronger. That it felt a little. I don't know. That one. I thought you were going to be more into it, and it kind of fell flat a little bit, to be honest. But I think the rest of Meko and Cockatoo Twins, and Psychedelic Furs was all excellent. And as far as Jason goes, other than his refusal to listen to anything outside of the narrowest of genres, his constant dismissal of Always really just I don't understand why he doesn't get that band. It feels it just should be like a lock. Like it should be an automatic like 4 stars. So I don't, and you've never given 4 stars to any of their albums, which even just blows my mind further. Never understood your reticence in getting into them. Best thing about Jason, uh, Stevie Wonder, Sly and the Family Stone, getting into more of that like R&B stuff was good to see. And then, just the constant work ethic, of course, listening to billions and billions of albums, all the new stuff, spreading your ideas to the Discord and giving everyone new stuff to listen to. Very inspiring. That's about it. It's good.
All right. For you guys, I think Cram's worst moments on the channel this year were putting the Whitney Christmas record #1. That was bad. Even I don't think anyone's that upset because it's Whitney Houston, but come on. The Monkeys video was a low point, I think, in the entire history of the channel. And I think your 82 list, the inclusion of Blondie in that Joni Mitchell record, no, should not be on an 82 list, especially the Blondie record. My issues with Joe, really disappointed. And this is a huge shock. I thought this would be a slam dunk ban for him, but him not liking Thin Lizzy that much was shocking to me. Completely shocking. And then the Bebop Deluxe dismissal, really disappointed with that as well. Also, putting Gospel According to Men in Black dead last in the Stranglers ranking was also a swing and a miss from Joe. I didn't write anything positive for either of you.
Damn.
Fine, good. Your porcupine tree, both of you. That's like 3 strikes against you.
No.
We could have lost the whole channel over that one. I'm surprised we survived your just terrible black negativity about that entire discography. A lot of upset people.
I think that was like a line in the sand between our channel and Sea of Tranquility. It was like we shared viewers until then, and now we have our own camps, I feel like.
And it just kind of, just as I think Jason's going like too crazy, too in his own world, he comes along and shares my opinion on Porcupine Tree. So that was huge. Like I was like, all right, we're still buds. Joe's Joe. I'm gonna line up with Joe, when I do, and it's fine. We'll always be okay. But me and Jason's relationship's more brittle than that, and he pisses me off. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, Porcupine Tree sucks. I'm like, Jason, I love you.
All right. Do we want to do Cram's idea? We want to pick our favorite episode of the year.
Yeah, I think we should. I think the best picture of the year for us got to be the Bowie album video. It's an epic. It's our Lawrence of Arabia. It's best seen in widescreen in the theaters. Huge undertaking. Everyone had like a little bit of a cool take, bringing up like something into like the top 12, top 15, where people were like, I don't know about that. But generally, like our top like 10 were pretty consistent with one another. We did the build up where we're doing the little things on Instagram, playing the little hooks and medleys and song parts to get people pumped up. The only thing that sucked about that is I ordered that Ziggy Stardust makeup and it didn't arrive here in time. But yeah, that was a big undertaking. It got us a lot of attention and aplomb. So I think that's got to be our best of the year, David Bowie.
Yeah, I think that's probably a no-brainer. I think all of the larger discographies we did of the bigger artists went really well. Fleetwood, Bowie, jumping up to like Stevie Wonder, Judas Priest. Those episodes just seem to be, really fun for all of us and get a lot of positive affirmation from the viewers in the Discord and everything. So all were great, but I would say David Bowie took the top spot.
Well, I would say our best episode of the year was probably Pulp or No Pulp. But after that, I would maybe go Bowie or Fleetwood Mac. For me personally, the most fun one to do, I think, was Fleetwood Mac because I didn't know as many of those records as I knew of Bowie's. I knew all the Bowies, but there was a handful of Fleetwood Mac that were like new discoveries for me. So that was cool.
That was cool, but Bowie is an artist that I've never went headfirst into and lined everything up. Whereas like the other major acts in my history I have, like I've always thought about Radiohead and Rushes and the Stones, like where everything. Bowie's just always been there, floating around. So to give it like 2 weeks deep and getting those sheets out and being like, well, I don't know. That was the best.
That's
2.5 hour long episode and it just flies by.
It's a daunting discography, and yeah, if we hadn't done the Bowie discography, I don't think I ever would have listened to Buddha of Suburbia or some of those like more obscure, or his debut even, the weird self-titled. So that was excellent, very cool to get in and see like everything, all the nuances and all the different paths he took throughout his career.
All right. So that does it. 2022, we will never speak of it again. It is all 2023 from here on out. Let us know what your favorite moments on the channel were over the past year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next one.